Hello and welcome to episode 13 of our Timberborn Update 7 Emberpelts playthrough, cycle 22, day 4. Last time, we started the process of finally getting this little cavern set up to produce metal-related products and bad water-related products, but that, of course, is going to take some time since we have to pump all of this bad water out. We're going to let this continue being what it needs to be, and instead focus a lot of our efforts today on finally getting the mega reservoir up and running. There's a couple things we need to do here. One, we do need to continue filling this space in so it seals off this exit. And then two, we need to take care of constructing this mess, which we currently have not done. And then three, we need to take care of sealing this off as well as the underground thing that lets that water out. That will allow us to fill this up to this height at level 13, which is the top of our sluice gates. So, I'm pretty sure water will still come out of here as long as the water that's in here has somewhere to go. So it probably can flow over this. But I haven't done a ton of testing or thinking about it. So we're going to see what happens. I also kind of don't think this is going to be able to fill during a regular cycle anyway. But again, we will see. Let's also not forget, down here on level 9, we have these three sources that I was always planning on emptying into here anyway when they are clean. As it stands now, these just kind of flow over this bad water discharge, and that's going to be something that, of course, just takes time. So, what I will do right now is get this back into transparent mode. Remember that these as sluices are set to only open if there is contamination, in case something goes horribly wrong, so these can be turned on, and that should be a-okay. We've got beavers who aren't going to want to get wet, and they are going to be unhappy when they go build this, but that's the easiest way to just get that done. We could have, yes, those of you who left comments saying, why didn't you do tubeways? I guess we could have done tubeways here. I just didn't want it to be a whole thing, and by the time we actually got around to building tubeways, this had already been in place for, I don't know, 2 episodes. So it's a little bit of an issue of just, I got my planning out of order, which that's never happened before. All that being said, I do think I can send them down through this gap here to kind of build a little bit of a thing here. And yes, there are trees that could be harvested. And depending on how I want to do this, I'm trying to figure out, there's going to be some place I could actually get them to come straight down. In the interest of actually getting things accomplished, I'll just make this out of tubeways, so that'll be just a tiny bit faster. Put this with the railings, because it is a dangerous path. And then, you can't have lumberjack flags flooded in this mod. You can in the water beavers. So I will have to have a lumberjack flag up here to jack all of this lumber. And then, you know, get some wood out of here. That's going to help. I know we have a ton of wood absolutely everywhere, but I don't know that I want to dedicate a whole bunch of time to harvesting all of this. I will mark it all for cutting if the game wants to let me do it. There we go. But it's one of those things that I have to consider the economy of time with this video series. And I do have to unfortunately make some difficult choices about what I will and will not do in the interest of actually getting videos finished and published daily. It takes a lot of stuff to get this out. I'm not quite on the Skystorm level of make these incredible huge builds in every single episode and spend 10 hours recording and then all night editing. Like, I unfortunately am not in a position to do that. I'm glad he is, though. Those videos are really fun. I digress. We're going to get them to build this. We're going to get them to cut these trees down, as many as we can, and then we're going to get this filled up. If I really, really wanted to be fancy with this, I could, in theory, build dirt excavators, get terrain blocks and all that. But for right now, I think this is fine. It will be okay. I just want to make sure that I can do something that makes at least a little bit of sense to block things off here. This looks like 3 blocks tall. Simplest way to get this filled in is just to come straight the way across here. Let's also not forget, we have these shaped levee blocks, and I think there is a 3x3. There is. Look at that, folks. That fills up almost the entire hole. So let's get the 3x2 right here. And I know it takes a lot of materials, but it's going to be fine. Just get that completely closed in. They cannot build it from above. And, of course, no, I can't see anything at all. So they will have to get down. I think I can accomplish that just with a continuation of our tubeway fun here. In fact, I don't even need to put a tubeway station at the bottom there, because they can just build that like that. And then they don't have to get wet. But I do need a tubeway station here for them to actually get the trees. So, that can continue, get that on triple speed. It looks like this is finished. This one's not quite done, but that one is. The space over here, I do remember being a thing that wasn't quite finished. Because I had to put the sluice in place. That's right. And then, yeah, remember all that talking I did about, oh, we got these special shaped levees, and then over here I just have the, regular old boring shaped levees. Well, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna choose not to worry about it and just move on with our lives. So it looks like this is actually finished now. Yep, there we go. Very good. I do not believe there is any other way for water to get out of this. We've already kind of addressed that. This is completely sealed off. Yeah, that's, come on, autosave. That is all she wrote on that. So that will take care of a whole lot of other fun stuff. We'll have to, of course, block this off. But we're a ways away from that. I'm going to let them take care of what they need to take care of. Of course, there's nothing for you to do. It's okay. Just have a little bit of patience. We'll get there. Ah, yes. We're flooding over here. Is that like a permanent thing? Or is that just the cyclical nonsense that it's decided it wants to do? Oh, this is also very, very full. I'll tell you what. I will just force this open to try and drain a little bit so we don't have problems. Yeah, that's fine. I know I need to do something else with this. We will have the release from this reservoir. Yes, using the forbidden setting I always complain about will close above downstream depth. I'll figure out a good way to do that. Now, that will come in due time. We've got a little bit of a shortage of beavers. We need to add some more housing, and I know I want to kind of keep this looking somewhat decent without spreading the beavers out too much. But I'm not necessarily opposed to building some other colonies somewhere else. I will, however, continue building this out the way that we've already kind of started it. I want to do these tenement lodges kind of across this big gap here to make some sort of a living bridge type thing. But that will be a later problem. We've got these with our little balconies that we technically can't do anything with and they won't use, so I'm not really that worried about using those, but I could put in something here, or maybe I should just use triples for that. I haven't unlocked these, and I know we do have these large ones that don't use the balconies. Just depends on how we want to do this, I suppose. I need to have something here so I can place the building on top. Don't really need to worry about what's going to go in those spots. But I think it doesn't hurt us to have a doorway up to the top here. So I will put one of those there. That'll give us another 9 beds. We will expand logically and not all at once. Then we can have access to this top area and do some other things. So we'll let them do that in the time that they will do it, because, you know, they have all these other things that they're supposed to be doing. How many builder's huts do I have? I always forget. I have 3 builder's huts. That seems like a lot for a population of 94. Well, it's fine. Let's check on what is happening down in the cavern. Okay, progress is being made. We do still have a few tiles high of sludge. Honestly, I probably should build another one of these pumps. I'll tell you what we definitely should do. And this was a comment somebody left. We should turn this bad water rig, there we go, completely off. Force them to come and get all of this stuff. Drain this just a bit faster. We do have tubeways going between here and here. And I know I need to get tubeways going elsewhere. Oh yeah, and then there's another bit of bad news. The Choo mod, even though it does work in-game. It loads everything, and I can place buildings. I have done some testing just to make sure this is definitively not going to work, but unfortunately, there seems to be some sort of glitch with the tubeways or related to the tubeways to where I can't spawn a train. I can build the tracks, I can build the stations and all that, but as soon as I go to spawn a train, it just crashes the game. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to just not do anything with the trains unless or until this becomes fixed. Please do not go bother the mod creator. I understand they're busy and they're taking some time away from modding, but it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but again, these people who make mods are doing this for free, for the fun of it or out of the kindness of their hearts, and it's just really unnecessary to bother them about it. So we're going to keep on keeping on. I just wanted to let you guys know, in case you're wondering why haven't we done anything with trains yet. I wanted to make sure it would work before I commit to doing it, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to for right now. But we do still have the tubeways, and we can have some fun with those. I like the idea of having a buried tubeway network to make things look a little bit nicer. This map is going to make it a little bit of a challenge, though, just because of how varied the terrain is. So what we may end up doing instead is going all the way down to this 0 level and just having super highway tubeways at the very bottom of the map with shafts coming straight up. Which you might say, that sounds insanely difficult and expensive to build. And you're not wrong, but remember, we have tubeway tunnels. This is part of the Emberpelts mod, not part of the Iron Teeth or anything in the base game. This is such a useful, incredibly useful building for us, because that means we won't have to do just insanely complicated double-wide tunnels with the pathing and this and that. And like, no, we'll just build tubeway tunnels. It's going to be so much easier. I'm not going to commit to doing that today. I just wanted to let you guys know that that was a thing that was possible for us to do, because remember, my main goal for today is to get this operating to a degree that we can utilize and be pretty happy with. Down here, they have not finished this. Too far from district cannot be. Okay, well, it shouldn't be too far from it. They haven't finished this, that's why. And I thought they had. Yes, I know you're wet and you don't want to be. Well, that's life sometimes. But as soon as these get finished, that should be a thing. And then to seal this up, I need to just commit to sticking with this. I think the easiest thing for us to do is just going to be to kind of... you know what? They haven't started building this. Let's just not do that. Let's do that on the other side of this two-way. It's just going to be so much easier. So much easier. Also, doesn't have to be paused for us to do this. If I make this out of just regular levees, it's, you know, 12 logs each. I got these longer ones for these right here that might actually be just a tiny bit easier to build something like that. And then coming up from here, I know we got the 2x1s. I could do something like that, and then... yeah, because it just has to block things. If that goes there, where's my 2x2? There we go. Yeah, see, that's probably actually a better spot to put a 3x2. Just to put that there. I'm trying to get this level if I can. Oh, here we go again. My backwards conventioning for this is killing me. Oh, it even has pictures, but I'm too dumb to remember that. That's facing the wrong way. Nope, can't have that. Gotta rotate. See, they're already, wow, they're already building this. These beavers are going to be flooded in ways that they may not necessarily like. Okay, this tree has to be removed. Is that marked for cutting? It is. And it should be one of the next ones that's cut. I will let them just kind of do that in their own time. Now I've got 3 high. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try bad tide approaching. Oh, boy. That's going to fit nicely there. And I have how much space on top? That's fine. It's going to be what it is. The other advantage of having these tall ones is they can build all of these at once, and then I just have to figure out what in the heck I'm doing up here. That's facing the correct way, right? Yes. Okay. Very hard to see this. How much do I have here? I got 2, so that would be a 2x2. There we go. That can go there. They can build this one. They might not be able to build this from the tubeway. I guess we will find out. That blocks that out. This also can be a 2x2. That blocks that completely. And then I just have to get here, which I am waiting on that. I don't have a 4 tall. I only have a 3 tall. So I could put a 3x2 and then a 1x1 on top of that. I think that would make the most sense. Okay, they say they can't reach that. So what's going to happen is that gets that, and then I come in here with a 2-way. Oh. I did not realize that was a thing. So I guess this is why it pays to actually pay attention. Alright, so we can leave them to that for the moment. Since we have a bad tide coming, I do want to make sure... Is this actually... Why is this saying they can't reach? Did I not mark the... Well, where's your problem? Okay, let's take care of that. And then I know they can't reach those. So this is completely fine, right? Yes. Very good. I haven't messed with this yet because I have to do a lot of tunneling, and I did want to make sure we had the bad tide, if we got a bad tide, complete before I got into that. But after the debacle, there you go. Pronounce your words correctly. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. We fixed this. It was a huge mess, but it is fixed. And since we have put our, what do you call it, right here, this should not backfeed this mess. And this we already know is fine. This I'm going to have to... Oh, it's a sluice, so it doesn't really matter. Unless we just want to lose all of our water. I will need to put this back on auto. I just was trying to avoid flooding. Oh, so much to think about. Let's put it back on auto. That's fine. I do need to raise this, most likely. But we will get there when we get there. This is down to 0.85. Let's do 0.75. Try and let a little bit more water out. Not that it's going to be a huge deal. I do have to wait for this to cycle a little tiny bit. What's this set to? 0.9? Okay, let's try 0.85. Give them a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Yeah, right now, one of the main problems we have is it's all of the pressure from inside of here is going out that way, and it is causing issues. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Bad tide will give us some time to get this all ironed out. Otherwise, bad water, I'm pretty sure this has been solved already because we're not getting anything else coming in. This has completely blocked everything. If you take a look there, that's fine. And then this side down here, again, we put this single sluice in place, and that is keeping water from coming in this way. So I think we're good. Famous last words, but genuinely, I think it's fine, hopefully. This kind of flooding over here does cause me to be concerned that this is also going to be... Okay, I actually need to... Those are both auto. This is going to surge just a tiny bit. So I will emergency open these right now. And then I do not want it on triple speed when the bad tide actually starts. Yeah, I just need to make sure these correctly. Okay, so that has closed. Okay, that one's good. That one's also good. Note that it has not flowed over the top of this, nor will it ever. And if it does, then I guess you get to yell at me, but that's fine. This is, in theory, perfect. I will, all that being said, I will, close this off. It's just not something that I think is really stressing out, worth stressing out at this point in time. All right, so now that we know for sure this is fine, I know this is all flooded, but it won't be once this drains out. This is going to continue coming in through here, which is why that's still open. This is fine, I guess. Yeah, we'll just... We do have 24 wet beavers, which, not ideal. But it's fine. We're going to be okay. Somebody asked, why do we still have this mine operating? The answer is because there's scrap metal here. And I'm not a quitter, so we're going to get that to keep going. How's the, oh, good. Good, they did actually get all of that taken care of. Alright, so that's going to go there. And then that single levee is going to go there. This will require access. It's going to be actual. Is it actually cheaper to build? No way. It's actually cheaper to build regular tubeways. What a concept. What a concept that is. If I put this here, they should be able to build to the side. I guess we'll find out. Tell you what, we'll absolutely make that possible, is just doing this way. Save a couple pieces of material there. Alright, anyway, it's only a 4-day bad tide. We're fine, but we are going to want this to be finished before we do too much of anything else. We already knew this was complete. That is good. Once again, our height for this, theoretically maximum, although it will still keep spitting things out because it's not going to just stop when it reaches the level above it. But theoretically, our maximum height is this right here, because it's just going to pour right over the side, which, honestly, I'm fine with, because that's where the water is supposed to go. But if we wanted it to be any higher, we'd have to do a little bit more terraforming, and again, I don't think they're going to fill this up to begin with. Well, that'll have to be one of those things we do eventually. They still have to finish that. I don't know if they can build tubeways up without some sort of platform to get off of. I don't know. I guess we're going to see. This doesn't say they can't reach it. So we're about to find out as soon as these beavers get back into the office here. Okay, well that worked. And if this last one does, then we're going to be in good shape, folks. This is going to be here. This is going to be here. And I've checked so many times, but you know how this goes. Ah. Well, there's your problem. I completely forgot about this. Oh, that just goes to show you're never going to be 100%. All that being said, I think this is probably still fine. It's going to overflow through here, and then the way this is set up, I do only have an outlet there. I don't want the outlet to be down here, because that is not going to be... Wait a minute, why did that not get built? Okay, so that's going to have a tubeway there. I think they should be able to build that. Let's see. What is the height to which I would like this filled? Okay, I made a mistake. I made a mistake here. This needs to, one of these in the middle, that currently has a bunch of stuff above it, needs to come out, and this needs to be sluices. I think I only need 1 or 2, honestly. I will make it 2. And the reason why is so that I can just replace this entire thing here, and it's right in front of the levee. So, I know I've made an ugly. But if I do... Oh, you know what? No, we're going to take it one step further. I know. The pain and suffering of watching me have to figure this out in real time. We're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. And then now, yes, friends. Yes. We can close above downstream depth. I'm going to set this to 3.85. That will be just high enough to keep this filled up. And, yeah, you know, it's fine. Keep in mind, I'm not incredibly smart, because look... Oh, God, what am I doing? I put this directly into a terrain block, which, you know what? I actually, I can just blow that up. Okay, that's gonna be the easy solution. Is this critical infrastructure? It will not be. After that's okay. You know what? I should just stop talking before my mouth makes promises that my brain can't fulfill. Writes checks my brain can't cache, I think is my preferred way to say that. People don't even do checks anymore. Well, young people don't. Businesses still do. In the U.S., I don't know, all the international people, checks with the QU, or however you guys spell it over across the pond, if you will. Maybe you still have those. I don't know. I had, when I turned 18, I got checks from my bank. That was a long time ago. 15 plus years ago. And to date, I may have only used 10 or 15 of them. Yep. And they make you buy a whole bunch at one time, and it was expensive, and I was kind of angry about it. But, you know, it is what it is. Why am I even telling you this? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Let's move on. Get these in place here. Now I can remove... actually, I can pretty much remove all of this. With that gone, I can make this incredibly easier on myself by just dynamiting that away. And that will allow water to flow into both of these from above and below. Honestly, we probably could just take all of this dirt out. But it's fine. It is what it is. And this needs to be set to auto again. In theory, this should not allow any of this to ever overflow, because it will just shut when the downstream depth gets to 3.85. And if this is the only way that water from all these sources can flow through here, and this is a drop-off, 2.2, this should fill up much faster than it can discharge. And it should still be enough water coming through. Plus we have this source here. It should be fine. Alright, cycle 23 begins. Now it's time to find out just how smart or dumb I really am. Because now... that is... oh, no, there's one... there's one above here I did not quite... nope, that needed to be a 2x2. Somewhere out there, there's someone absolutely screaming in agony about how in the world can you possibly be this stupid. Well, if that's you, I would like to congratulate you on being smarter than me. And now we can move on. This should fill up pretty fast to a certain point and then stop. And then, of course, once it gets up here, it will just overflow. This is going to be kind of involved to get this blocked up. And this may actually be worth putting in a dirt excavator to get terrain so we can make this look a little bit nicer. Because, well, I do kind of like how this is set up. Putting in just, you know, these levee pieces isn't going to look that great. Here it's fine because it's kind of, well, it's just, you're plugging a specific spot. I guess that's the way that it goes. Okay, so those have automatically closed. Wait a minute, what's this? Is this a joke? Is this a joke? Come on, man. Well, I absolutely should have anticipated that being a thing. I will just have to do this. Just come on. How did I not see that? I spent so much time looking. Oh, all right, whatever. It's not worth getting upset about. How's our Cavern of Sadness going? Okay, substantially drained. Very good. Still not quite enough for me to start building anything in here. But we're getting somewhere. Who has nothing to do in range? That would be this fellow. Well, time to go bye-bye. There you go. How are we looking down in here? Still some stuff to get to. And still some stuff down here. Can they reach this? Well, you know, it would probably help if they had a path to connect. They should. If I click on this, probably being the closest, scroll down. Oh, they can't reach anything. Oh, that's also not accessible. Why am I bothering doing this? First of all, because I can. Second of all, because I can. There you go. So they can't reach that because that wasn't reachable. There you go. Yogi Bear, etc. Okay, that probably isn't going to show me until I put this stuff in here. And that's accessible. That's accessible. This is not. This be fine with just some stairs there, and the rest of this should be good to go. I'll make it easier on them, though, and I will put in a single scavenger flag down here. That should be fine, and then we can just ignore this. And when, excuse me, they're actually out of stuff to do, they'll let me know. You know what? I may have to eat crow on this. This is actually filling up much faster than I thought it could. It is, of course, going to spill over here before it can get anywhere else. But don't tell me I did this again. Okay. They can't reach this because... Alright. Alright, I see how it is. See, this is... Look. This is why I can't do anything else. I keep forgetting things. Now that has to go in, which means that's going to be able to go in, which means that gets blocked, which means everything is perfectly fine. We move on, and we enjoy our lives. But if that's already that high without this actually being viable, you know, honestly, maybe this is fine the way it is. I do still want to close this up, though, but I would consider this to be a rousing success at this point. And we're only 30 minutes into the episode. That means we have time for other stuff. Very cool. We expanded our housing here. I have 9 extra beavers. But keep in mind that 9 extra beavers isn't really a real number because I have this bad water rig that is paused. I have this mine that has 2 workers in it, and I have this bad water rig that is paused. So we do need to continue putting additional housing in. I just try to stagger things if I can. And this is probably, you know, for the sake of stuff looking the same, I might as well just put another triple lodge in here. Continue building things out. If I want to, I can also put these walkway entrances to get us in between spots like this. I don't think that's really necessary. But I did kind of want to see. Got our 6x1 overhangs. Yeah, we could put something over the top of this exercise plaza and then build some more well-being over here. But speaking of building things underneath, the idea was floated in the comments, and I really liked this. What if, in our cavern here, because we have all this extra space, we do our industrial stuff, but we also put in a dance hall and have a beaver rave? That might be kind of fun. We got these decoration pieces with the fire and everything. You know, a little bit of underground glow light type stuff going on. It's too bad that this faction doesn't have the Agora, because you know what they do in that building. That's, I don't know. I was never a raver, but music was cool. Just not my scene for going in and doing that stuff. Okay, so this is absolutely just surging out this end. But honestly, this is tall enough where this feels reasonably complete, reasonably full. Did they finish all of this? Looks like they did. This has opened because it's still not full. That's fine. That's what that's supposed to be doing. You know what? I feel like this is a rousing success. I know I've already said that, but look at this. Look at this, folks. We got a ton of water. We don't really need it, but we've got it, which is cool. That's doing fine there. I know these tubeways are real ugly. So I'll tell you what. We're only 35 minutes into this. Let's go ahead and start making some tubeway tunnels. I know this is still super poisoned, but I need to identify pathing for this, and it's easy to get down here. So if I just, you know, commit to going kind of right about here, we got 216, 205. Just follow that 205 mark until I get to the next. See, this is exactly why we're doing this on level 0. And we need to make sure that anything on level 1 is not open before we get anywhere, because you get up to level 2, you start to have all this other stuff. We have our district center is up here at the 159 in the center. I don't know where I want this stuff to stay is the other whole thing. Maybe the better thing to do is to just bring it over here. And I know I can have an entrance just kind of wherever with this. And I know I have houses there. I know I have this right here. This directly underneath opens all the way up, so that's not a great place to go. What doesn't open all the way up? Right about here, actually, might be a great spot. Okay, so that is, that's 160, 138. Let's tunnel down. All the way down. 160, 138. Come down to number 0. Come up to number 1. I don't see any reason why we could not do that. Once again, 160, 138. Alright, so that is going to be a tubeway tunnel starting at 160, 138, which is right here. I wish I could mark that, but I cannot. Alright, tunnels. You are under tubeways. Tubeway tunnel, 2400 science. And there we go. We'll just go all the way down that way, 25. And we got to come all the way over here to that. I know this is the most exciting thing you've ever seen. They're going to have an entrance point somewhere, which that's going to come up to... Oh, okay. You know what? That's actually very achievable. Just get this up here, and then that'll be a tubeway, and then for right now, I will make this a station, just because that's going to be the easiest way for us to get in and out of this. Look at them go. Look at them go. They're making this work. We are going to want to have supplies to build these things. And that's planks, metal blocks, explosives, extract. Well, guess what we've already got? We have extract, at the very least. And, you know what would actually be really smart is if I just had this connect right here. Well, it's fine. This can be a separate kind of thing. I just want this to be not stupid. That comes out right here. I have extract. I've got planks right here. That is fine. I don't want to duplicate that. I've got explosives. And I've got... Alright, you know what? That's good enough. That's good enough to start from there. Alright, now, B for boom. We will, of course, do this again. You know what? Honestly, I could have just made these two-way tunnels. How many more down do I have to go? This is 6. Yeah, it's fine. I will make this two-way tunnels. And then I can't do any more two-way tunnels, but I can do tubeways on the top. And then come right out to tiny tubeway station. Or if we want to be, you know, just a tiny bit less nonsensical, what I can do is I can blast this out. And I can use the one that actually comes with the mod that has the actual decorations on it, the small tubeway station. It won't look quite so insane. Then, of course, you have, like, the full-size one, but... B for boom. And research that. And there you go. Now, this is not going to be able to be built until this very bottom bit is completely taken care of. This tubeway is already in place. They can build underneath because it is a tunnel, and it can instantly replace whatever is supporting it. That's fine. That's built. That's built. That's in the process of being built. That's about to be built, and then that. So we should be able to come from both sides. And remember, planks, metal blocks, explosives, extract. We don't have any of that stored on this end, so what I will do is I will make very temporary storage for some of those things. We've got metal blocks, we've got planks, and then I need to have tanks, or a tank for extract, and then what was this other one? I always forget. Oh, dynamite. That goes in a small warehouse. If all of these are set to obtain, that should make it much easier for the beavers who are working on this to build from end to end. These are already set to obtain here. How much have they built? Wow, they're actually making some nice progress. So, folks, you already know what time it is. It is time for a time-lapse of getting all of these things constructed. I don't think this is going to take a terribly long time because they only have to make one building at a time. But I'm going to have them do this, and we will finish the time-lapse whenever it's done. In terms of bad water stuff, we've already basically demonstrated that it's impossible for this to go poorly, so I don't think we need to worry about that. But of course, if something bad does happen, I will stop and talk to you about it, because that's always how these things go. But I'll see you on the other side, hopefully with nothing bad happening. Alright folks, they've completed this very first line all the way through, all the way down here. across and back up. So we take our small tubeway station here, then scroll this all the way down, and this one is glowing, so it looks like we're good. Everything is connected. Obviously this top one's not, but I'm probably not going to keep this here because it looks ugly, and I'm trying to make this playthrough not look completely ugly. So now that we have there to here, we are also going to want to, you know what? Wouldn't be that hard to get this to connect into the hospital thing either. And since this is right here, it wouldn't be that hard for us to connect into this area. All sorts of possibilities. Very exciting. What I will do here is, I believe, let's see, what is this? 166, 130. We can have that turned into tubeway tunnels. That's right there. Just bring this along this way. Up and up and up and up and not up. Tiny tubeway station. Right there. And give them a path. That should be pretty convenient. And we also probably want to give them easy access to all of this juice. And that was another thing a couple people mentioned, is that we need to have better storage, better distribution for the juice. But we could also just give them better access to said juice. So the way that this is laid out is practically begging for me to just put some tiny two-way stations there. And there. And then underneath, connect those to the same bit. I don't know that they'd use both of these unless I ran it straight through the center. So that is 170 and 100, huh? Okay, let's do that. 170 and 100. I love these two-way tunnels, man. That is so nice. So that will go there, 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 and that takes care of that. 159, 100 over here. And there we go. And then we connect this straight through here. It's at 160. But we could... how far apart? These aren't perfect. Not perfect, but I could have them come through like this. There's also no rule that says this stuff has to look great at this level. I just would like this to be serviceable. So that'll get that connected there. Once they build all that. And then we can, of course, come over to this side at some point. But, you know, that's a good start. It is a pretty good start to have all of this connected. Since this is connected here to here, there's no connection here yet. So we probably should commit to putting one of those in. I'm going to take this contemplation spot out. And instead, what I will do is do one of these numbers. Just stack it right on top of itself. That is 171, 170. This will very nicely go through here. 171, 170. There we go. Up, 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 up. And that gets us to there. Then this can very easily just connect right like that. I love not having to consider directionality with these because it's just infinite. Beaver goes in tube. It doesn't matter who else is in the tube. It just kind of goes. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes. That's a throwback. How are we looking on levels? Okay. We're getting pretty close. We're down to about half of a block height, which means next episode, which should be Tuesday, I think, is going to be when we can put in the rest of our stuff down here. So we'll leave that alone. Just know we're making good progress on that. Once this other two-way thing's taken care of, I will get rid of these, so we won't have to look at them. And that'll give us a connection to here, which I guess also kind of counts for this. But we could pretty easily, in theory, get some stuff over here. This is height level 4, so we know that's going to be fine. I just have to have somewhere to bring this up. What's this? Gather flag. That's kind of important. But the rest of this stuff here we're talking about moving anyway. I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. We need more water storage, and I know we have some there, which technically is kind of close to this, and then this is something else. I did not do a great job of laying this out for future considerations. How about that? We are 3 days, 3.5 days-ish into the drought, and we have only used about a block and a half of height here out of this reservoir. I'd say this is pretty good, folks. I am feeling pretty nice about that. Here we are. These guys have nothing left to do. Well, get on with it. What? There's one right here. What do you mean you didn't have anything left to do? Okay, all right. That's on me. That's on me. Let's just take a second to calm down. One of them was working on that. That's obviously what happened. Okay, and then this guy down here has tons to do. Not that we're really hurting for scrap metal. I will, I believe, just pop a couple more of those in. Make it so that these guys can keep working. We have so many extra beavers we don't even need right now. That's the way this goes. How are we looking on our subterranean tunnels here? Okay, making progress to here. That's good. Get connected to that. Obviously, they need to be able to go both ways, but I think this one's already ready, so they can start. There we go. Yeah, they're working their way. That's fine. Yeah, that looks all right. Then they'll make their way. I'm not building storages all the way out here because that's not going to be necessary. But it looks like they are. Yeah, they're coming in from both sides. All right, feel pretty good about that. Flywheels are working fantastically well over here. Very satisfied with this. But yes, I think it's going to be time soon. Again, this is probably a next episode thing. But put in some big storages somewhere else. When we get there, this is a huge win for us right here, having this taken care of. I know there's still trees that could probably be harvested in here, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. So maybe, see, I don't know. After I time-lapse, this is probably only going to be about 50 minutes-ish. Maybe between 50 and 55. I guess that's an okay length. But I know some of you guys like them to be a little bit longer. Let's get this back on triple speed. I guess I could take another look at my notes here. See, I don't have a ton for this episode because it was mostly people talking about how I did this wrong. Blasting out the extra bits for this. I think I understand what you're saying now. I definitely did not then. But we got it done, and that's what matters. So, yeah, I think this is going to be the best spot for us to end because it is the end of a cycle. So I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, giving me helpful feedback, constructive criticism, etc., so on and so forth. I always appreciate that. And again, I can't please everybody, so like just it is what it is. But I do appreciate you. And I want you to know I do always read the comments. Can't respond to everybody, especially now. I've been incredibly busy, but I do make sure to always read them, and I try to incorporate what I can. So, Beard Boosters, of course, make it possible to keep doing all this fun stuff and not have to have sponsors in the videos or try to chase the algorithm or whatever. We just set our sights on some arbitrary goal in the future, do what we can, and have a good time doing it, and hopefully, just enjoy the process, right? That's what it's about. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. Not supposed to be stressful. If it's stressful, you can turn it off and, go about your day, and I won't be mad. But I do hope you enjoy these, and I hope you'll come back and see us again soon for more Beaver fun. Don't forget we have the 1.0 experimental. If you haven't checked that out, that's been a whole lot of fun so far with some of those new mechanics. And yes, we are going to do the Project 1K conclusion at some point. It's going to take so much time for me to get through. It's going to be a slog. But we're going to get there, and I'm going to do my best to do that justice. But I'm out of time for this one. Whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back again in the next episode when we start Cycle 24. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.